Let's get this show on the road, shall we? Are we live? Yep. Ah, cool. All right, we've got some people with us already. Let's get this show on the road. DS Sith Lord. Finally, Steve Austin has arrived. Cheers, Tony from Ohio. Hello from Australia, mate. Rock71, great channel. Been a sub from the start. So excited for this episode. 10-year-old me is leaping about. Thanks for the content. Awesome, Rock71. Keith Holmesley, good to see you, brother. The Toy Smuggler, how you doing? My neighbouring town where I grew up, Middlesbrough, their football field was called the Lee Majors Field. That's cool. Mario says, dude, what's up, dude? Good vibes from Brazil. Well, I'm sending you good vibes from Australia. And, yeah, this was supposed to be live stream number 8. Well, that was supposed to be the title. Now, I've done more than 8 live streams, but like the Australian Bushfire Relief Effort live stream had its own title. It wasn't part of the normal scheduled live streams. The Christmas Day impromptu live stream where I'd had a few too many beers, I think. That was just a Christmas Day one. But, you know, generally when we put the topic out there for Patreons, for the patrons to vote on. So, yeah, for those of you who don't know, I run a poll about a week before each live stream when I announce it. I run a poll on the Patreon page, and every tier of Patreon is allowed to vote on the topic. And I think this week I offered the guys the topics of obviously the $6 Million Man, the Lone Ranger, Mego, Kenner's Indiana Jones, and something else. I don't remember, but pretty close this week with the voting. But the $6 Million Man did win out. So if you want to vote on future Patreon polls to set the discussion topic for the next live stream, head over to our Patreon page. Timothy Ward says all great options. Yeah, they are. I was almost kind of hoping to get the Lone Ranger out here and get the horses on everything on the table, but I'm more than happy to spend an hour and a half with you guys discussing the $6 Million Man. Jody, how you doing? Good to see you. Gojatron, hi Tony, cheers. Oh, sorry, your question went past. If it was a question or a comment. So Cooney Clicks, who used to be known as Aquafrazzles, good to see you. Hope you're all good. Avoiding the virus that won't be named. I really don't want to discuss I'm here to talk toys today. Formerly Aquafrazzle, is asking me where's the missus. Well, she drove to work about 10 minutes ago, mate. And my son's at a sleepover, so... Werewolf by Lunchtime. Good morning from Dianella, WA. We've got a fellow West Australian in the house. Werewolf by Lunchtime, really good to see you here. Mozart, hi from Germany. I watched all the Fall Guy episodes starring Lee Majors when I was a kid, but to this day never seen a single episode of the $6 Million Man. But the toys look cool. Mate, you're missing out because as much as the Fall Guy is a good TV show, the $6 Million Man is far, far superior to the Fall Guy. Excellent. One of the best TV shows of the 70s. Yeah, let's talk toys. I was starting to say to you guys before that officially this should be called live stream number 8. So I think we did about 5 live streams when I first started them. They were all based on different Action Man topics. We did one on my G.I. Joe collection. We've done one on Rambo. We've done one on Action Force. So this was supposed to be live stream 8. But I actually think I'm just going to leave the name that I've put up here in the video description and stick with the title, the $6 Million live stream, because that just sounds cool. I don't know. What do you guys think? We can rebuild him. Robert Chattel, how you doing? Oh, Michael Schaefer, nice to see you. Retro Blasting, we can renumber the live stream, we can rebuild it. Big shout out to Retro Blasting. Thank you very much for collaborating with me on the recent video. I really enjoyed that. I'm very proud of that video as well. So that's Action Force Part 2 on the SAS series. Gary's Action Man channel, nice to see you. Alright, where do we start? I've messed up here because there's one toy I need for this. And... so Retro Blaster's just made another comment, and soon Star Wars Follies. So, yeah, so Michael French from Retro Blasting collaborated on my last recent video, the Action Force 1. And we have plans in the works for me to collaborate on their channel with an upcoming Star Wars Folly, so I'm really excited for that. Yeah, guys, there's another toy I need, so give me 2 seconds. Apologies for that. But we need the Bionic Transport and Command Center. Yes, everybody drink. So for me here, it's just after 7 AM in Australia, so I have a cup of tea. But for you American viewers, first of all, apologies for getting the time wrong. I announced this would be at 6 PM US Eastern Standard Time. I didn't realise you guys had daylight savings, so I believe it's 7 PM. And for anyone in the UK and Europe who's watching, I really appreciate you staying up so late. I think it's around 11 PM in the UK, like midnight in some parts of Europe. Wow, Jody, thank you for the super chat, but no question, so throw one up. Brick and Tire, hey Tony, I don't remember the show that much, but I know my brother had a few when we were kids, and that command center. Yeah, so this is the Bionic Transport and Repair Station. So obviously the character of Steve Austin, he was an astronaut and a test pilot, badly injured in a crash, and they basically rebuilt him with bionic technology. So the original toy line, as in like the first wave, I think was 1973, I can't remember. I'll have to go back and watch my own video on the topic. The original toy line literally consisted of the first issue $6 Million Man figure with the radio backpack there that had the helmet and the Bionic Transport and Command Center. Designed to look like a rocket, which is a pretty good choice for a former astronaut, and it can actually fold out. It comes with a ton of accessories. This one is quite incomplete, actually. It looks good assembled like that, but I have another box one that's fully complete that doesn't have any of the stickers attached. So quite like, and you can still pick these up. They really mass produce these. You can pick these up quite easily, and for a pretty decent price as well. So that was the extent of the original first wave release of the Bionic Man. So it's the first issue figure with the backpack radio and the transport and repair station. Michael Lomax saw the show in repeats in the 90s. I saw the show in repeats in the early 80s. The $6 Million Man is before my time, but much like a lot of the other toy lines I collect, like Evel Knievel and some Migos, I had an older brother born in 1971 and an uncle who was quite a bit younger than my dad, who was born in the early 60s. So when my uncle got out of playing with toys, he handed all of his toys, which were like 60s Action Man stuff and some Marx Best of the West kind of stuff. I think he had some Bonanza toys as well, weirdly. He handed those toys down to my older brother, and then when my older brother got out of playing with toys, I got all of his and all of my uncle's. So as a young kid in the early 80s, while I was collecting Star Wars, Action Force, then into Masters of the Universe, I also had a massive collection of things like the Bionic Man, the Lone Ranger, Evel Knievel. So that's why a lot of the things I collect are actually before my time. Steve Brenner says it was the #1 toy for years running. Yes, it was. Retro Blasty says, that's the best thermos ever made. You can get a hell of a lot of coffee in that thing. You can. And look, and there's your cup. I've never even thought before that could be a thermos. I wonder if someone can actually make one into one. Venkman, thank you for the super chat. Hello, Tony. I'm getting a few super chats today. This is quite new. I've not had many on the channel, but never mind. I'm just here to talk toys. Retro Blasty says that was Melinda's joke. Well, Melinda, that was a great joke because I'm now actually obsessed with getting someone to actually fashion this into a genuine thermos, and I'll take it to work in the winter when I need my coffee. Contact Lights says he still have my Steve Austin's great toys, but the size made them incompatible with Action Man. Oh, look, they're slightly incompatible with Action Man. So Action Man is, they always say Action Man's a 12-inch figure. He's actually about like 11 and a half, 11 and 3/4 inches, whereas Steve Austin's about 13 inches. But really, when I was a child, it was no different to, I'm about 5'10" and a half. I've got friends who are 6'2", 6'3". He's just one of Action Man's tall friends. I don't really think... The scale certainly didn't bother me when I was a child, that's for sure. Did make it difficult for Steve Austin to fit into Action Man's Jeeps and things, but there you go. Yes, so Salvador saying, Kenner was very fortunate. After the $6 Million Man came Star Wars. Yeah, they were very fortunate. They had a huge success with the $6 Million Man. It was the first time they'd really... broken into the action figure world. Yeah, and then obviously the next huge success for them was Star Wars after a lot of other companies turned it down. Noah Swearingen says, hey Tony, was Pulsar a copy of the $6 Million Man? It was a product designed to compete with the $6 Million Man, let me put it that way. So with the $6 Million Man craze that was going on in the mid-70s, obviously by Kenner, Mattel brought out Pulsar, the Ultimate Man of Adventure, which was directly designed to compete, and it didn't do very well. It didn't compete that well. But no different, actually, to Atomic Man in the G.I. Joe line. So when they brought out the Atomic Man figure, that again was very heavily inspired by the Bionic Man, trying to tap into that craze. Bronze Age Byron says the $6 Million Man versus Bigfoot was like a prize fight for me as a kid. I had a Steve Austin action figure when I was young and his arm broke off. I was lucky enough to get a Steve and his arm broke off too. Well, Steve Austin's right arm, his bionic arm, is actually designed to be removable. It doesn't break off unless, I mean, you can damage it. Oh wow, Mr. Lurch's things. Thank you for the super chat. Sorry I can't stick around. Need to run off to Spotlight for some material for a custom. Is that a material to make my transport and repair station into a thermos? Thank you very much, Mr. Lurch. I want to give you a shout out. If you haven't seen Mr. Lurch's things, the YouTube channel, he does some toy videos, but he's also really into retro computers and gaming. Excellent channel, and a fellow Australian YouTuber as well. So best of luck finding the parts you need at Spotlight. And for those of you international viewers who don't know, Spotlight is a huge, like, it's a big store. It sells a lot of bedding and stuff like that, but lots of arts and crafts type stuff. It's a really, really big, almost warehouse type store. I buy a lot of things from Spotlight when I'm customizing toys. Matt Ludi, wow, we have some heavy hitters in the chat. All your channels are great. Yeah, we do. We got Michael Mercy here. Good to see you, Michael. We got Retro Blasting. Yeah, this is cool. This is a good chat. And Retro Blaster says we are nothing without you, Matt Ludi. I agree. So the first $6 Million Man. So this guy that I've got here, I can't really show you the action features because of the way he's set up with the backpack and everything. And then obviously this one here is in the original box. So the first issue came with the engine block. Then the second issue version, which we have here, they traded the engine block for a steel girder. I don't know why Kenner thought that orange would make something look like a steel girder, but Jody, yes, another super chat and no question, man. Send me your question, Jody. And apologies if I miss anyone's question. I don't have anyone to help me with the live stream, and it's very hard for me to go back up through the questions. But let's take this this second issue version. I'm going to get him out of the stand for a moment. So, the $6 Million Man. Not only did he have his bionic eyes here, there's a hole in the back of the head where you could look through a lens, and weirdly, it actually doesn't. It doesn't work like a telescopic sight like it was supposed to in the TV show. It actually does the reverse and makes things look further away, which is a bit bizarre. But there you've got his bionic eye feature. There's a button on his back just here. And what happened with this button? If you turn the head to the right, and you could sometimes feel it click into place. What it is, it's locking in like a ratchet mechanism, and then you press the button and it very slowly starts basically jacking up his arm. So if he was holding the engine block, you could use his bionic strength to lift the engine block up, and then to release it, you just turn the head back to the front and the arm comes back down. Jody S. I have you on Facebook, Tony, just supporting your channel. Hope that Panther gun I sent you arrives soon. Yeah, so I'm going to a shout out for Jody here. So Jody was watching the recent Action Force video where, well, actually Michael from Retro Blasting did the segment around the SAS Panther, but I just put a shot up of my Panther to show that there are actually a number of variations where Michael's has got a black roll cage, mine has a yellow roll cage. And Jody noticed in that video that one of the guns, the two barrels of the gun on my Panther were slightly bent, and that's how I received it. I purchased it only a few months ago. Just so happens that Jody had a Panther when he was a kid, and the only part of that toy he has left is the double-barreled gun. Good catch. So he's very kindly sending it to me so I can swap it out with my one, and I don't have bent barrels on my Panther anymore. George Aitken saying he's got both Panthers. George, I did tell Michael the other day that I thought there were a number of variations beyond just the black and yellow roll cages. I thought like some had the small bull bar, bumper bar at the front was yellow and black as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. And also, I'm keen to know which is the rarer of the two. I'm sure Michael's is rarer than mine. I see more yellow roll cage ones. So when they came out, that's basically the play features on the first issue, $6 Million Man. The bionic right arm can be removed from its socket, and so can the legs be removed. That was so that you could buy add-on accessory packs, like we see here with the bionic mission legs and the bionic mission arm, where you had basically interchangeable arms with different play features. I'll talk more about those in a moment. But when they brought out the second issue Bionic Man, he also had an additional play feature. So there's a button on his forearm, which if you guys can see his hand there, when you press the button, basically he has bionic grip. So he goes from an open palmed hand, and it's press the button and it's spring loaded for the grip. So George is saying the yellow roll cage Panthers are the more common ones, but I don't think either of them are that rare. Another feature with the $6 Million Man that's when you're trying to get one of these complete and original is very, very difficult. That is that he had a rubber skin over his arm covering his bionic features, and the idea you roll the skin back. This is a reproduction one. The only original one I've got, I believe, is the one that's in this box, and I don't want to touch it, but much like the Frogman suits from G.I. Joe and Action Man, it's made of a very thin rubber material, a bit like dishwashing gloves, which perishes over time and falls apart. So, Retro Blasting is asking, do I have the Bionic Woman? Yeah, I couldn't fit everything onto the table, but I have a loose Bionic Woman here that was very kindly sent to me by my friend Alan Dawson. I have a box to Bionic Woman. And I actually discussed this toy, I think, in my top 10 female action figures video, saying that this was the first issue version. I think I made a mistake. I actually believe this is a second issue version. What I really want to get is the first issue version where Jamie Summers is wearing the tracksuit that she was like wearing in the intro of the show when she was jogging, which is like blue jogging pants and then a white jogging top with some stripes. So yes, I do have the Bionic Woman, but I don't have both versions. I also don't have the last issue version of the Bionic Man with the Biosonic arm, I think it was called. That's very rare, very, very pricey. Dude, Jody, you keep sending me super chats without questions. Although you are making some comments. So Jody's saying that's an amazing an amazing collection. Thank you very much, Jody. I was actually I was chatting with Michael recently, and I was saying that when I got into collecting toys as well, I was not even quite an adult. I was 16 when I started seriously collecting toys. All I collected for the next 20, 25 years was Action Man. And then around 8 years ago, I started to branch out into other things. And the first toy line I really started to collect was the $6 Million Man. I don't have everything. The Venus Space Probe is a holy grail for me, but very rare, very pricey. And they really don't turn up in Australia very often. So even if I did find one like on eBay that wasn't going for too high of a price, I would get smashed with the shipping costs from the States simply because of the size of the thing. So Kevin T's asking who likes Mike Power over Steve Austin. So who does? Who prefers the G.I. Joe Atomic Man over Steve Austin? I'm keen to know. Michael Schaefer, do you prefer larger scales? I don't know if I prefer... Like, Action Man's my all-time favourite toy line, and it's a 1/6 scale toy line. But, you know, right now I'm really appreciating, obviously, Action Force. I'm heavily collecting that. I've always liked Star Wars. I like all toy scales. I don't think one is better than the other. I think one of the reasons I really liked Action Man so much, I don't think it was actually to do with scale. It was just due to how big the franchise or the property became over, you know, it was an incredibly popular toy. It lasted for 18 years. And over those 18 years, there was just so many different products made available. I mean, I've really had to thin out my Action Man vehicle collection just because of the size of them. You know, I couldn't do a live stream on Action Man vehicles because I'd literally put the Scorpion tank on the table and there'd be no room for anything else. So I really downsized my vehicle collection of Action Man when I moved from Perth up to Port Hedland a number of years ago, and I sold them all to a friend and fellow collector down in Perth. Steve Branner says the Biosonic Steve Austin came with a funky gold bracelet. Yeah, it did, and it's quite hard to get today. Came out in the last year of $6 Million Man when the property was kind of waning, and like with a lot of other toy lines, you take the last 17 from Star Wars, you take like the Action Man Missile Assault. Often the final products to come out as a line is dying become some of the rarest because they don't make anywhere near the same amount of numbers of them. That's certainly the case with the Action Man Missile Assault. Cooney Clicks, does his bionic eye work in reverse? I don't know. See, he's asking me if you look through the bionic eye the other way, does it make things look closer? No, you actually can't see anything when you look through that from that side. You can't see anything at all. It's the black hole. All right, let's talk. This is one of my favourite, probably my favourite Steve Austin action figure, and it wasn't sold like this. This is a combination of two accessory sets. So this is the critical assignment legs, and which came with a pair of white running shorts. I think they gave him shorts so you could use the exciting features. So he's got an opening panel. He's got an opening panel in the front of his right thigh there, which has got like a communication set. There's another panel down here that opens. What's in that one? Don't even know what this is. Some sort of a hook and rope winch of something comes out of his lower calf. That's pretty cool. But my favourite accessory or play feature in the critical assignment legs is this one here, where the leg can explode. I'm losing all the bits here. So that's obviously why they paired the critical assignment legs with a pair of shorts, because obviously that play feature wouldn't work very well with his tracksuit pants on. Actually, I want to speak about that for a moment. I know Steve Austin wore the red tracksuit in the opening of the television show when he's running at 50 miles an hour or whatever it is. I don't really know why they chose that outfit. I think something more like this funky denim design here with a massive collar on it would have been much better. Like the way I remember the $6 Million Man from the TV show is wearing his like sandy khaki pants and shirt with the classic belt buckle that he had, running through the California desert. That was really cool. So this was a really great add-on accessory for the Bionic Man and really added a lot of play value to the overall product if you get the critical assignment legs. Now with the critical assignment arms, you actually got 3 arms and they came with the white t-shirt here. These all originally came with the rubber skin over them that could be rolled back. Again, they perish over time. Now we've got Brick Mantooth in the chat as well. He says the bright colours pop better. Yeah, I would tend to agree. What he's saying there is that more than likely Kenner, when they were designing this, toys often come with bright primary colours, and I think the red tracksuit really pops. Interestingly, does anyone know why Kenner chose to have most of the $6 Million Man packaging done in a really bright hot pink? I don't know. It's not really a boy's colour, but it doesn't matter. It still looks great. When you see photos of a wall of $6 Million Man products in a toy shop, it looks really, really cool. Michael Mercy, I always wondered about the choice of tracksuit for the figure 2. I figured it was, hey man, it was a 70s thing. Yeah, the tracksuit is iconic because it showed up in the opening of every single series. In the opening segment of every single episode. But yeah, for me, I think the favourite outfit is this, because that's the type of. So this was called the undercover assignment. It was available on a separate card back, which was just the denim trousers and jacket, the brown shoes, and a communications device. I think that was like a bionic recharging device or something that basically he could plug in his arm, and obviously the very rare watch. I don't know if you can see that there, the orange plastic watch. That outfit is not complete without the watch, and often you'll find, when you do come across it, you'll find that the watch is missing. So something to look out for. So with the critical assignment arms, I'm not going to open this one up. So this one's got a play feature where you open up a panel and you actually pull out an oxygen mask so he can breathe underwater. This one here, you put a AA battery into it and then pull the hand back like so, and then it shines a torchlight out of there. And this one, he's got a secret panel in the side here. It carries like a small laser gun that you could put into his hand. You don't really see the $6 Million Man using guns very often, but and the other play feature with this, when it works, my one's a little bit broken. It's got yeah, I'm not going to get that to work. It's basically, you're supposed to be able to turn that at right angles and it locks in, and then a button at the back lets it go. But the catch that holds it in place is a bit worn through too much play on mine. Yeah, that's probably my favourite Steve Austin action figure. Not from the whole line, but my favourite Steve Austin. Let's I have to figure out how to put all that rope and stuff back on. It's going to take me a while to pack up after this live stream. Robert Chattel says his top speed was 65 miles an hour. Yeah, I think I said I did a Toy Histories episode on the $6 Million Man. I think I said he could run at speeds of up to 50 miles an hour, and everyone corrected me and said no, it was 60, and I was like, well, if he can run 60, he can run up to 50 as well, can't he? I do love a good nitpick in the YouTube comments. Mark Kyo, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. He owns a mint original $6 Million Man first edition. Well done. Yeah, so this is the first edition here. I already showed you guys the second edition. So while I got this guy on the table, so this is the undercover assignment set. I'm not sure what year this came out, but basically Kenner offered 3 carded accessory sets, which were outfits for the $6 Million Man. So we have the Mission to Mars outfit, which you Action Man fans will recognise the boots and the gloves, because Palitoy later borrowed those for the Action Man Space Ranger series. He's got some sort of blue backpack wrapped around into a chest panel. I do like the fact that all of the outfits for the $6 Million Man actually had a hole in the back so that you could operate the button. This one, the actual button's broken off. But the button should be poking through the back there, so it could still function. And even the back of the helmet, I don't know how that's going to go in the vacuum of space, but there's a hole in the back there, so you can look through his bionic eye. With a really cool red visor that you can flip up to turn his head and operate his bionic arm. But this one, I like the look of this. So this is the test flight at 75,000 feet outfit, I believe. So this is basically Steve Austin in a skydiving outfit. It's pretty cool. The goggles are quite hard to get, easily broken. Once again, the helmet's got a hole in the back so you can see through the bionic eye. But if you look at the parachute pack, it's just a piece of solid plastic. And again, this guy comes with a blue clip-on watch or altimeter, whatever it is. Another hard to find piece. I actually think this would have been much better if they had incorporated a working parachute into it, like they did with G.I. Joe and Action Man. But still, a nice looking outfit. Orange. The colour orange gives you, I suppose, your display a little bit more variety there. So, okay, Badre Billy's. Have you read the $6 Million Man or Bionic Woman comic strips? I used to read the Arabic translation of the strips growing up. No, I've never read the comic books really. And I'll be honest, I'm more of a fan of the toys than I am the show. I've watched a lot of the show, but not religiously and not recently. I probably couldn't tell you a lot of what happens in them. There are certain episodes I really remember, like the episode Death Probe, which this like Russian machine satellite thing sort of crash lands, which Kenner then made a toy out of, being the Venus space probe. Well, obviously then you've got the classic episode of $6 Million Man versus the Bigfoot. This was a holy grail toy for me for a long time. It's quite difficult to get. Oh, Jody S. sent me a super chat just because no one else was super chatting. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, the $6 Million Man was a real holy grail toy for me for a long time, and I refused to make my Toy Histories episode on the $6 Million Man without this. I could work around, so I don't have the Fembot, which is basically the villain figure for the Bionic Woman. I don't have the last issue $6 Million Man, but I have enough of the collection. I felt like I had enough to make a good in-depth documentary feature on the $6 Million Man. But I refused to make it without Bigfoot because that episode of the TV show was so iconic. I believe originally played by Andre the Giant and then later Ted Cassidy. But then when I got the toy, I was really, really disappointed. So Kenner later reused this mold for the Star Wars large-size action figure of Chewbacca. So you'll recognise the sculpting on the arms and the legs. Obviously, they've changed the head. But literally, this is all he does. This is a doll, not an action figure, because the articulate, there are no elbow and knee joints. There's not even a neck joint. Like, the head is so big, it's just moulded straight in. And one play feature, which is the exploding chest panel. That's boring. I'm saying that's boring. The one saving grace of this toy is the face sculpt. I do really, really like the face sculpt, and he does look cool when you want to sort of photograph him or film him next to the $6 Million Man. But I think if I had this as a kid to play with, I would have got bored with him pretty quickly. Brickman Tooth agrees. He was super disappointed in his Bigfoot as a kid. Michael Schaefer says, I thought those hands looked familiar. Yeah. Resolute123. Hey Dave, how are you? Hey Dave, I've not only taken your awesome design of like the comic interpretation of me as an Action Force figure. I've not only turned that into a t-shirt and made it available on the channel, I've purchased myself one and I'm just waiting for it to arrive in the post. Coming from the States, so I think the last time I purchased a hoodie from Teespring, it took a number of weeks to get here. So as soon as that arrives, I'm going to wear it in the next video. But oh yeah, sorry, so your question was, awesome team up with Retro Blasting the other day. Will we see more? Yes, you definitely will see more team ups between Analog Toys and Retro Blasting. The next one will be over on the Retro Blasting channel, not on my channel. So I'm going to leave Bigfoot just there. What else have we got here? And this is a big toy line. There's a lot to talk about. Lee Majors is 80 years old now. Yeah, and he still looks good. I hope I look as good as that when I'm 80. I hope I'm still alive when I'm 80. I haven't been kind to my body over the years, let's put it that way. George Aitken will be sending some Z-Force to Retro Blasting. George, that's awesome, man. I don't think Michael has much Z-Force stuff, and I know he likes it. So we can speak afterwards, George, if you need the address or anything. I'll send you their PO box. Alright guys, about time we got this guy out. I'm not going to get him out of the box. This is not mint in box, this has been out. This is actually the one that I used for filming and photography of my Toy Histories episode. But this is Steve Austin's boss, Oscar Goldman, who comes with an amazing exploding briefcase. It's a really intricately designed toy. So what they did, rather than where the $6 Million Man had all the play features incorporated in the action figure, they couldn't really do that with Oscar Goldman. Lee Chapman, thanks for the super chat. He sent me $9.99 US just because of Jody's peer pressure. Thanks, Jody. Keep that peer pressure up, man. And thank you very much, Lee. I really appreciate it. Yeah, because it didn't make sense for Kenner to incorporate play features into the Oscar Goldman action figure, they spent a lot of time designing this really intricate briefcase, which I would love to show you, but it's in the bottom of the box and I don't want to open it. But you can see it in much greater detail in my Toy Histories episode on the $6 Million Man. But what I will say, and hopefully you can see from there, is that is one awesome 70s attire that he's wearing there, with the check coat and the aqua green turtleneck underneath. Really, really cool. Oscar Goldman did dress well, I will say that. He did dress really well. And another thing to note, it's actually quite rare to find this with the Told Toys sticker on the front. So I'm sure you've heard me guys talk about Toll Toys before. Toll Toys was an Australian toy company that didn't really make toys. They were just a licensing company in Australia that brought all these other international products into Australia and would just slap the Toll Toys sticker on them. Sometimes you would get original Toll Toys packaging where it wasn't a sticker. They actually printed the boxes with the Toll Toys logo printed on them. I think there's actually a rare, like the cardboard Death Star, like the Palitoy Death Star. I think there's a rare version available in Australia that has Toll Toys logo actually printed on the box rather than Palitoy. But yeah, with the $6 Million Man, they just brought the Kenner products over and then stuck a sticker on the front of the cellophane. And it can be quite difficult to find them with that Toll Toys logo on the front, like so. George Aitken would love the Action Force Retroblasting logo on a t-shirt. Oh, we can possibly organise that for you, George. I might see what I can do. I've got the logo here. Gary's Action Man channel. Wonder why no weapon accessories were included in the series. Steve Austin was not averse to using them. The end of the pilot TV movie was a kill fest. Well, I think maybe Kenner didn't want to go down that route and probably focus more on the bionic side of it. You know, if you wanted all the weapons and stuff, you could collect G.I. Joe. So, all right. Now we get to my favourite, absolute favourite action figure from the whole line. Maskatron. This guy is super, super cool. He's got more play features than anything else in the toy line. It's a really, really fun toy. I have him boxed as well. I like the artwork. So this was based on a couple of episodes called Day of the Robot. The character was played by John Saxon, who I believe also starred in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. John Saxon. He was also in Enter the Dragon as well. He played Roper in Enter the Dragon. And I actually think that face is a pretty good sculpt of John Saxon. So the cool thing with Maskatron, he wasn't bionically enhanced like the Bionic Man. He was actually a full-blown like android. And you could remove Maskatron's face, put the face of Steve Austin on there. He's got a panel in his back here that you can lift up for holding the other masks. He comes with a third mask so he can disguise him. Whoa! His head also explodes off his body. This guy had a lot of play features. There was another mask available to you so you could make him look like Oscar Goldman. And yeah, this guy had exploding legs, exploding arms. So it had, each of the forearms had like a locking feature, and then if you removed the locking feature, you could fire the arms off. He came with different arm attachments. We've got like the grabber claw, there's a suction arm, there was, no, is it just the two? So he's got a normal arm, a normal human looking arm, this claw arm, it is pretty cool. I'll get it to work. There you go. Claw arm, yeah, he's got a suction arm, which is made of rubber, again, an item that perishes. The legs blow off as well. Every single limb and part of this toy is packed with play features. Really, really cool. And certainly my favourite toy from this whole $6 Million Man range is Maskatron. Just an amazing toy. Incredibly well engineered. Yeah. Okay, let's catch up here. So Resolute says, holy shit, it's a rocket punch, yeah. Other parts of the world, says Boba Fett firing rocket. We raise you. Sorry, Keith, I didn't understand that. Adam Hurt, good to see you here, man. Beautiful collection, Tony. I have the Bionic sound as a text tone on my phone. I'm at work, so I can't stay. Just wanted to say hi. Oh, well, thanks very much, Adam. You can always catch the replay. Jules Burke, good to see you, Jules. Great collection, Tony. I'll make an announcement now. I'm doing. I've contributed a small part to an upcoming Jules Burke video. My part's already in the can. I can't tell you when his video is going to drop. I think he's got a fair bit of work to do on it yet. But stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed to Jules Burke channel, have a look over there. I'll be appearing in one of his future videos. Venkman, sounds like something broke. No, nothing broke. It just popped off and bounced around. I got bits of Mastertron all over the floor. I just have to be careful where I tread when I get up afterwards. Is that head okay? Did it survive that rocket firing action? Yeah, it did. It did. Unfortunately, it's down here where... I got it. Alright, let's get him in there. Let's lock it now. Okay. So on Mastertron, that's the button to fire him. But you can use this tab, slide it left and right to lock it. Oh, I've done it again. I put it in the wrong position. Yeah, you could lock it in place so the button wouldn't fire off. Man, this is all over the place here. All right. Okay. Now I've got it locked in place. Yes, Mastertron's head is fine. It's very, very well made. So if you were playing with this as a kid and you were shooting it off, it was unlikely you were actually going to damage it. But there's Mastertron back again. I can't reach his arm. That's gone too far away. Jody S says retro blasting versus analog toys, exploding head counts 0 to 2. Yeah, I don't know how many other toys I can think of that actually have an exploding head. It's pretty cool toy. Jody, some might argue, but it's always my head that explodes. Yeah, sometimes. Resolute 123, so my good mate Dave. I'm sure a lot of kids lost parts to this toy. It's hard to find a complete toy figure. Is it hard to find a complete toy figure? Yes, it is very hard to find a complete toy figure. If you see on the back of the box there, so those are the two different sort of mechanical arm attachments. One of them is just a long... So it has a plastic base that bolts into the elbow or clips into the elbow, and then a long rubber extension with a rubber sucker on the end. That rubber perishes over time. So this guy is complete in here. This guy, I don't believe he has that rubber suction arm. And also this guy is missing Mastertron's shirt. He had like a white shirt that you put on to cover up all of his... to hide the fact that he's an android. But I like to display him like that because the white shirt is, or it's like a creamy white shirt, is quite bland. He actually looks way cooler showing all of his circuitry and stuff on the chest panel. Gary's Action Man channel says, should have had Barney Miller figure, the $7 Million Man. Yeah, a Barney Miller figure would have been really cool, the $7 Million Man. I would have loved to have seen how Kenner would have done the face sculpt on that. Actually, while we're speaking of face sculpts, it would be remiss of me not to return to the original $6 Million Man here and actually say what an amazing effort. He's not a good example because of the helmet on there. Let's grab this guy. What an amazing face sculpt that Kenner produced on this figure. It really does look like Steve Austin. It's super cool. Very, very well done for the time. And I think one of the reasons that really made this toy so popular, it's an excellent, excellent face sculpt. Yeah, I cannot credit the sculptor of this enough. I wish I actually knew who it was so I could give the guy a shout out on the channel. But George Aitken, I keep saying he's a Terminator prototype. I'm sure that may have had something to do with James Cameron's idea for the Terminator. Who knows? Ed Udley, what did these originally go for in price? Ed, I can't tell you off the top of my head. And if I was at my PC rather than my laptop, I could very, very quickly pull it up because I know I've got an advert that tells you. But off the top of my head, I don't know. Robert Chattel says that they retailed for $7.99. That sounds about right. I think Robert's right on the money there. George Aitken, $4.99. That may have been £4.99 sterling in the UK. I don't know. Jody S. Has just started speaking to a fellow person in the chat because he thinks the name sounds Dutch. Okay, cool. Alright guys, we're coming up on about 10 minutes before the end of the live stream, if we go for an hour. Is there anything else anyone wants to see a close-up of? Any questions anyone wants to ask me? I've got more than enough time to continue chatting with you guys this morning. Although I do want to, after this, go and watch the last couple of fights of UFC Brazil. But Barry Arnold, thank you very much for the super chat. What's going on today? I'm not used to all these super chats. George Aitken, a Robo Skull was £9.99 in the UK when it came out. Yeah, and today they're like $500-600 loose, let alone in the box. So if you picked a few Robo Skulls up back then for $19.99 and you've still got them, you've made a fantastic investment. Jody, ask me a question, man. You can't just keep sending me super chats and no questions. Tony, maybe I missed it, but what is the figure with the red shielded helmet? So this is a standard Bionic Man action figure, but with an outfit that came on a separate card back. So they were called adventure sets for the Bionic Man. They made 3 of them. So you got the undercover assignment set, the test flight at 75,000 feet outfit, and this here was called the Mission to Mars set. It's very, very cool. It's got the classic $6 Million Man logo on the side of the jumpsuit there, and his astronaut helmet with the red visor that folds back. Very, very cool. Very, very nice set. Yeah. Action Man Custom says explode all the limbs again. Should we just destroy Maskatron for the last few minutes? Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Before the head pops off again, whose face shall we put on there? Shall we leave John Saxon's face on there? Or should we put Oscar Goldman's face on there? What do you guys want? Before the head explodes. Oscar Goldman or John Saxon? Sellotape at the ready. Oscar, righto. It's Oscar. Oscar Goldman. I'm actually going to try and catch this time. Oscar Goldman. So the way this was sort of advertised in some of the toy advertising, they would do not in photography. They would do some artwork of showing like Steve Austin doing a karate chop onto the shoulder. You'll press this button here, and then we go. Oh, look at that! What a disappointment. All right, ready? There goes Oscar Goldman's head. Was that Oscar or Steve? Oscar Goldman. All right, let's go for the other arm. There goes the arm. Do the legs do it too? Well, that was a bit lackluster, wasn't it? Maybe that spring's worn. All that excitement for nothing. And now, look. Now I'm going to make a custom... I'm going to make a custom Action Man that's just been hit by an IED. The legs probably caught the pants. Yeah, they did. They caught it. I think without the pants, they're getting away. But I didn't want to undress him on the live stream because this is a PG channel. Yes, 'tis but a flesh wound. Yes, 'tis but a flesh wound. It is very Monty Python. Now he's Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, let's get a. He could either be John Saxon, Oscar Goldman, Steve Austin, or Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, he'll walk it off. He'll walk it off. That was a bit of fun. I don't think I've done that for a long time. I did that in the video, but I was sort of busy filming. That was actually a bit of fun doing that. So a lot of play value. Actually, let's now we may as well just undress him. So another thing is when you opened up this back panel, which is where he stored his spare masks, you could also have if you had a pencil or something, you could then even pop these out. So you push a pencil through the back there, and then the bionic circuitry parts could be removed. So the play value in this is just never ending. All the different panels, all the different bionic panels could be removed. There's another one. Talk about play value, man. That's awesome. Undress him. Is this Denobi too? Yeah, well, there's not much to see. He's wearing purple pants. So, normally, guys, it takes me about half an hour or so to pack up after a live stream. I think it's going to take me a while after this. And I also have to do the laundry because the wife's working today. But I'll see where the priorities go. Packing up this, UFC, laundry. Let's see. What $6 Million Man character would you like to have Sin made? I would have to go with, I don't remember who mentioned it earlier, but would have to be the $7 Million Man. Yes, and I don't have a Fembot. I really... there are some other smaller accessory sets, I think, that I don't have, but the two pieces that I would like to get for the collection, and probably wouldn't get anything beyond that, would be Fembot and then the Venus space probe. Oh, and the Bionic mission vehicle, which was later redone for the Action Man line to be the Solar Hurricane for the Space Rangers. Jody, man, super chat. You're a good dude, Jody. And thank you very much for the guns for the pants. I can't wait for them to arrive. Resolute123, thank you so much for the super chat. Dave sent me $20 US. I needed this, thank you. I actually feel like this has been a fun live stream. As I said, I don't want to talk about all the other nonsense that's going on in the world at the moment. I think we need distractions from it. This has certainly distracted me from all the craziness. I hope it's distracted you guys for a little bit as well. It is always fun chatting with yous. Rockin' Billy Boy says Maskatron goes live and he falls to pieces. Yeah, he can't handle the pressure of being on camera, man. He got a bit of stage fright, and look at the state of him now. The $7 Million Man. That would be a figure that I would have loved to have seen made. I do believe there were a lot of missed opportunities in this line. Like I said, there's that classic outfit that Steve Austin used to wear, kind of similar to this, but it was always in a khaki colour with that classic belt buckle. For those of you who watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a circular belt buckle with some brass, like almost wing type shape coming off it. Very, very classic belt buckle. I really think they should have made that outfit for the line. But Vincent Rosenstrader, do you ever really play with your toys? Not really. Like when a new toy arrives in the post, something I've added for the collection, I certainly study its play features and its functionality. I wouldn't say I actually play with toys now. That's one of the things that I really enjoy about making the feature videos. Like the recent video I did on Masters of the Universe, for example, I wanted to show you guys all the play features of the Battle Ram and Castle Grayskull. So when I film them, I actually get to turn the throne in Castle Grayskull and activate the trap door. I get to fire the ram rockets out of the Battle Ram and shoot them at Beastman's legs and knock him over. It's done for a purpose. It's done for the video, but that's really, I think, how I play with my toys. It can be a bit of a pain because of the way I display my collection. When I make a video like that, I have to pull a heap of stuff off the shelf, film it for the video, and then often I get pretty lazy and I just leave it down in the studio. And then normally when the next live stream comes up, it was actually not that long ago, I was like, I've got to put all of these guys back on the shelf. I think it was for the Rambo live stream. Because after filming that video, I just left them in the studio in like plastic containers for ages until I could be bothered to put them back on the shelf. One added benefit of that, though, is that by taking them off the shelf, filming them for video and putting them back on, I dust all the shelves, I dust off all the figures and put them back. One of the reasons, actually, that I film in this part of the collection, for those of you who've seen the collection tour, most of my collection is behind glass. I wish I had more glass cabinets, but they're not cheap. And certainly for me, living in a remote town, there's not a lot of furniture shops here. And I could get stuff from IKEA at a reasonable price. But being so far away, I can't afford the shipping. So I do hope to move back to Perth at the end of this year. Relocate into a permanent studio. I'll get some more glass cabinets. So one of the reasons I film here, this is one of the areas of the collection that isn't glass cabinets, is because you don't get any reflection off the studio lights here. If I film in front of glass cabinets, often the studio lights reflect off the glass, and it doesn't make for a good picture quality. Retro blasting, I take 2 weeks to clean the studio after a live stream. I'm not surprised. It's very time consuming. So for this live stream, I have to bring this. So this is the table I film a lot of the videos on, and my studio I'm on the 3rd floor of the house now. Studio's on the 2nd floor. So first thing I do, I bring my computer chair over, and then I have to carry the table upstairs. Then I have to carry the studio lights up here. Then I have to carry up the tripod. I have to get the camera set up. I have to get the toys on display. And normally after a live stream, I'm pretty exhausted. And I just walk away and come up like 2 hours later and then start thinking about packing it up. So, Robert Just a Fan, mine too, and turn off. You're responding to someone else. Vincent, I love watching your unboxing. Is that your favourite? Do you mean my unboxing videos? Yeah, I do enjoy the unboxing videos. It's always really nice to see some of the things that people want to donate. It's just nice that people feel that by donating to the channel, they're contributing to something worthwhile, because that's what a lot of people tell me, is that, they appreciate the content that we make here. So the fact that people want to donate stuff to the channel, it was something really unexpected when I started the channel. It was never about, getting free stuff, which is why, well, not why, I've got no interest in reviewing modern stuff. I certainly know there's a lot of people who review modern stuff actually get sent stuff from Hasbro and Mattel and all that. They get sent free product to review. I will never start reviewing stuff just to get free stuff, because it's not what I'm into. But it really humbles me that there are viewers out there like the George Aitkins and the Gary Atkinsons and Alan Dawsons and Andy Wootons, people like that who, appreciate what we do here and want to contribute to the channel by sending us donations. So are they my favourite videos? Look, I do enjoy the unboxings, enjoy filming them, but I will say I do much more enjoy making the feature videos, something where I get to be really, really creative. I get to impart some information to you guys that certainly sometimes when you have information that you may not have seen or heard before. For example, the unreleased prototype designs of that SAS vehicle in the last Action Force video. It's really cool when I can do that. So yeah, the whole process, which often takes me several weeks from researching and writing a script to filming to editing and really delivering to you guys the most polished product that I can, I do get a lot of satisfaction. That's really my favourite. It can be very hard work at times. Sometimes I need to take a break from it, but the satisfaction I get from the finished product of a fully edited video, that would be my favourite. Sorry, I rambled there quite a bit and waved my hands around like I tend to do. Toy collecting ain't easy. Yeah, it ain't easy, but it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. Resolute 123. Do you have help creating your videos? No, I don't. Beyond like some supporters of the channel who've helped out with the opening, what do you call it? Like the opening title graphics with the robot popping up on the screen, Come With Me Toy Fans, the Analog Toys thing, that was done by a fan of the channel. The new Analog Toys logo was done by a fan of the channel. Beyond that, I do everything. I write the script, I do the filming, I do the editing. No one helps with this channel. Beyond collaborations, I've collaborated now, obviously very recently with Retro Blasting. I've collaborated in the past with Toy Polloi. I've collaborated with the Full Force podcast. And when I do that, I kind of give the other YouTubers an idea of what segments I want them to cover. I don't write scripts for them. I don't see the point in that. If you're collaborating with someone, it's because you want their point of view. So when it came to the last SAS video where we collaborated with Michael, I knew he had the Panther and the MMS. So when I extended an invitation to him, I was like, hey, would you talk about those two particular toys and give your take on them rather than me? And I think it made for an excellent video. And actually, in Retroblast is here saying, same, the feature videos are far more rewarding, but such a bear sometimes. Yeah, they can be really, really hard work. The filming can take a long time. I mean, certainly one thing for me, if I've written a very in-depth, long script, what I tend to do, so the process for me, I start with the script writing. When I get an idea, I get the script locked in my head. As I'm working on the script, as I'm writing the script, I'm already thinking about, right, what images do I show on the screen here? And if I get to a point where I was like, oh, well, I need to talk about this toy or toy line that perhaps I don't have. I don't like to steal other people's images from the internet. So as I'm writing the script, I may pause at that moment and go, right, I need to take an image of a vintage catalogue. That's what I try and use if I can't photograph the toy myself. I like to use an original toy catalogue. So I immediately start looking around for the toy catalogues online and see how, I'm starting to piece the video together in my head already. And as I'm writing, I also work out what segments of the video where I'm going to do what I call a PTC, or a piece to camera. So I work out where I'm going to talk to camera, where you're going to see the toys. And I can spend a long time writing a script. The next thing I do is sit down with the toys on the table, choose my t-shirt. I normally tend to have a shave. I like to be clean shaven in most of the videos. Ex-military guy, I like to be clean shaven. And then I record all of the bits where I talk to the camera, and also all the other voice. What I actually do is I read the whole script from start to finish, looking at the camera for those pieces, and then the rest of them just reading off the script. If then I go back and start editing, and it can be sometimes days later in the script, I have an idea and I want to add something in. If it's something where I feel I should be talking to the camera, it's very difficult to then go back and certainly if I've already packed up the display, you can't get the toys back in the same place and get the camera angle quite right and refilm it all. Yeah, and actually, and I'll continue with the process actually. So once I record all of the scripts, so the pieces to the camera and the script, I then normally import all the video into my editing software, and I sit down and I start laying out the track where I've got the pieces to camera, and then just lay out the audio and just check that I've got all the audio right. I didn't misread something. I kind of lay all that out, then it gives me an idea of the length of the video. And then from the script, I basically then just walk the script back down into the studio and start going through all the segments where I'm not talking to the camera, and just step by step filming all the different shots for the video, and then lay them out, and eventually at some stage come up with a finished product. But it's very, very time consuming. Involves a lot of, for example, for the SAS video, I didn't just take all the SAS toys downstairs. Obviously, I wanted to talk quite a bit about Action Man SAS. I've filmed Action Man SAS toys for previous videos, but I wanted to put entirely new footage into that last video. So I then brought all of my Action Man SAS collection down. I got the SAS helicopter out of storage and assembled it for one single shot that was like 3 seconds. Yeah, it's very time consuming, but that's the kind of work that goes into producing what I feel is a high quality video. I hope you guys feel the same. Venkman, I got to enjoy 2 great live streams from Retro Blasting and Analog Toys. Keep up the great work, Michael and Tony. Thanks, Venkman. Due to the time difference, I actually missed the Retro Blasting live stream. I watched like the first 5 minutes when I got up this morning, and I've got a busy day. I've got to do the laundry because the wife's at work. I've got to watch the UFC. I've got to pack up the live stream, and then I've got to watch Retro Blasting's live stream. And then I've got to make a bionic thermos. Thank you, Melinda, for the amazing idea. I reckon you could get 3 litres of coffee in there. Damn. I've got to do that. Flash Potato says, I want your toys. I'm sure you do, but I've put a lot of effort into this collection over a very, very long time. I seriously started collecting toys in 1993. So 27 years this year I've been seriously collecting toys. Obviously what I had was, but unfortunately I lost a lot of my childhood toys moving to Australia. Sad times, but yeah, it is what it is. So you missed the cage fight today? Retro Blasting, I may have. Are you asking me if I missed the UFC? I may have, because I think they might have brought the time forward due to the fact that they're not going to show it with all the fans because of all the nonsense going on in the world. But I can watch the replay. I'm subscribed to the UFC Fight Pass, UFC Fight Pass, so I can watch everything on the replay. Melinda says, you're welcome. Thanks very much, Melinda. Werewolf by Lunchtime, so you're the WA guy, hey? Or gal, I don't know, sorry. I would like the Mego Thor with the crazy hair. Yeah, Mego Thor is pretty cool. I'm not sure that the rooted hair was a good idea because it doesn't look great. I think moulded hair would have been better for that character, but there you go. Werewolf by Lunchtime, you're a guy. Okay, so Werewolf by Lunchtime is from Dianella in Western Australia, which is the city where around the city where all my family live and where I grew up during my high school years. So a great city, Perth. If anyone ever's coming to Australia, Perth is a beautiful city and well worth visiting. Vincent says, when's your birthday? My birthday is at the end of June. And I was born in 77, so I'll be... I don't even know how old I am. 42, I'm 43, turning 43 this year. King Eric the Great, do I have the Bigfoot? Yeah, man, you missed that earlier in the live stream. I do have the Bionic Bigfoot. So we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. I've got my tea here, but it's really gone cold. That's horrible. I'm getting quite parched. I need a drink. So I'm going to wrap up the live stream there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This has been an awesome live stream, having Michael Mercy, Timothy Ward, Retro Blasting, George Aitken, Jody, Dave Song, Brick Mantooth, Brickentire, a fellow viewer from WA. There's been some really, really awesome people on the chat today. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm going to sign off. So thank you all for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video, which I'm not sure what it's going to be. I'm going to do some script writing this afternoon. Hopefully want to film something tomorrow. And I've actually got a couple of toys down on the kitchen table right now, trying to decide whether I'm going to do my Sergeant Slaughter and G.I. Joe Havoc video, whether I'm going to review the Mark's Mike Hazard Double Agent toy from the 60s, or possibly even something else. I'm going to pull the trigger on something this afternoon and get cracking on a next feature video of some kind. So, alright guys, that's it from me. I've got to move Melinda's Bionic Thermos out of the way to go around and turn the camera off. Yous have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, Sunday, whatever it is. And I'll see you soon. Cheers.